Hello, this is Hal with Krause Lumber Company's Model Railroad. If you'd like to subscribe, hear more information going forward about the Lumber Company Railroad, or like this and would like to see more and be notified, please click the subscribe and like button. We're going to be laying out the railroad per the any rail documentation. The design of that from any rail was all done by myself the first time I've ever built a railroad in any rail. It is not a hard system to do. It just takes a little bit of learning. Here you see the storeroom being cleaned out, just tidied up a little bit. There are 2 cameras that take pictures, and I'll point those out as we go forward. And they take pictures every 30 minutes, and this project was over a year long. You see on the right-hand side where the rails started to go up for the platform for the train, and we ran into a snag and had to buy a laser level. There were too many ups and downs with the ceiling to be able to measure it. Levels didn't get level enough. It was not to my standards, so I bought a little laser level, which really made a difference in the quality of the train track. Here you see that we've started down the left-hand side and building a tabletop, and the peninsula will come down the middle from there. And you can see on the right-hand side, upper right, you can see the plans for the track are stapled to the wall. Here you see a bit of a helix coming out on the right-hand side. That's the base. Trying to keep it as open as possible, knowing that there's going to be a limited amount of space around the track as we build in a 13 by 20 area. This is the first train that I have ever built. This was quite a learning process. Has a lot going on. We used all Pico track. And switches with DCC Concepts IP digital switches. Started out using a Digitrax PR4, thinking that that would be enough, but it ran out of power very quickly, and I migrated to a system using DCC++, and so far that's been working real well for me. Here you see that I'm getting ready to paint the underframe of the framework. Here you see the paint going on now. And painted the top. Cleaned it up around and started inlaying the cork roadbed. I have put a little, so far as of today, I've put a little over 475 feet of cork roadbed down, and I've done the same amount of track to this point in time. So there's quite a bit going on. All the track is soldered together and does have plastic joiners in places that I think that we'll have an expansion problem. I have actually, in where the joints are, I've actually super glued and evened up so that there's almost a perfect track height, so that I have very little sound from changing tracks. Here you're seeing where we're starting out on a second layer, and that second level will go out across that peninsula. And as we build that second level up on that peninsula, you'll see that the supports underneath the framework are plastic risers, and those plastic risers were all printed with a 3D printer. And so you'll see those go in place slowly as using the blocks of wood, and then we put the risers in as they were printed. Start seeing those go in. Right about now, you'll start seeing the first ones go, and then in just a couple of seconds, the last ones will be in place. You'll notice that the inner rail on the peninsula, on the upper level, not put in. There's going to be another jog that takes us up to a third level. You see the roadbed all of a sudden goes up and down in two different points. We put a carpet underneath on the floor, and then moved it and added a second piece of carpet so the floor is completely carpeted. When that was done after the framework was built, you'll see the framework go up and down as it's being modified. The camera system takes pictures every 30 minutes, 24 hours a day, and I go through and pick out the ones that have light in them. And we have a north camera and a south camera, and we call this one that we're looking at right now Train 1, and I will be publishing Train 2 in another week or so. You'll have a little bit different view of the same process. You'll be able to see the back wall going up that's not visible at this point in time. The piece for the third level, again, the supports were all 3D printed. You'll see that there is a piece that goes out and is cut and makes a reversing loop in the upper left-hand side. And then the supports go underneath, and it's now laying out on top of the track. There it is. And then you can also see the flashing of a TV. That's my computer, and it's running applications or doing things that for testing. So that's where JMRI shows up. And on the right-hand side, the tabletop on top of the helix is going to be removed. It's just too small, and it's going to be replaced with a larger top. That had a 16-inch radius that just wasn't working smoothly for me. So we're making that to be a 22 to 24, depending on if it's inner or outer radius. And that will smooth that process up the track. You see that the third level is up on the left-hand side. Now we're working on the right-hand side to get the part of the helix in. Now here comes the top level for the track. And shortly will come all the laying of that track. I will have a little bit of a clip at the end showing those helix in action, and I'll also have one that shows a whole video showing the helix and the controls for that double reversing loop. We're just about to the end of the build process for this video. I'm going to show a little bit of the train actually running on the track, a little bit of the reversing loop, picture of some of the 3D printed frames and plastic that I use for uprights. Starting to look better. Here you'll see the camera on the north end is at the top of the screen, about the middle, just a little bit to the left of the middle, and that camera takes pictures 24/7. Here is the uprights on the back wall, where there is 2 tracks in the middle, 2 tracks above, and then on the very top is a single track. Here you can see the train going on that upper level on the back wall, and then there is a middle level with another train going. Here is one of the reversing loops in action. Video on the reversing loops. There are 3 reversing loops. Here's the uprights, again, being printed. And I do want to thank you. Please remember to subscribe and be notified of more videos coming forward. Thank you so much. It's Hal signing out.